Apostle John W. Taylor addressed the conference. Although as a people we are subject to many frailties, we also exhibit many qualities that are noble. The speaker had not, since his arrival in Logan, heard the name of deity blasphemed, neither had he observed any intemperance or disturbance of the peace. The homes of the people are neat and comfortable. The people of the community are of different nationalities, and their gathering together ought to be a great testimony to the world if they would receive it. It was one of the most significant signs of the latter times. The saints have come to Zion to feast upon the instructions given them by the servants of God. They believe in inspiration and prophecy. They had faith in the inspired predictions delivered in ancient times. Some have been fulfilled, some are in process of fulfillment, and others would surely be verified in due time. The prophets of olden times, notably Isaiah, had prophesied in relation to the establishment, in its present exalted location, of Zion. The speaker had heard it admitted by people who do not believe in the divinity of this work, that it is a wonderful phenomenon, for according to its history, the more its adherents were abused and the more determined the efforts made to suppress it, it had the more success. The church is a nursery, destined to spread and yield good fruit in every nation. The young should prepare themselves for the work that will devolve upon them in the world. This opposition, which had been prominently mentioned during this conference, need not cause any fearfulness. This called to mind the fact that in the state of Georgia, in the year and a half following the assassination of Joseph Standing, more people were added to the church than during the same length of time in any previous period. The principle of plural marriage, against which the main force of the opposition was being hurled, had been a divine institution from before the foundation of the world. There had been some talk about President Taylor issuing a revelation abolishing that system of marriage. When a revelation of that kind is given, it will be when the Lord has no use for the Latter-day Saints, and this will never transpire, for he has promised to give them the kingdom and to sustain them. But those who oppose the church do not care much about plural marriage. It is the principle of unity, and consequently of power, that is feared. The Latter-day Saints are the most thoroughly organized of any people on earth. This is admitted by persons who have studied the associations of every part of the world. The officials who are opposing the church are in pursuit of money and power. Take away the one and the prospect of the other, and the work would cease. Those engaged in the crusade are seeking to break the political power of the community. If the government would take less trouble to pursue the Latter-day Saints and pay more attention to rooting out the destructive elements that were threatening society at large, it would be much more conducive to the public weal. The secret combinations that are forming mean destruction and devastation. They will increase and cause fear to seize upon the people, and prominent men would be marks for their antipathy. Men occupying conspicuous positions would be in danger because of the state of things approaching. The speaker related an anecdote about an elder named Butterfield, who was, in the East, invited by a lady relative of a late Utah federal judge to call at her house. When he visited her, he was asked into a room where there were a large number of ladies, and none of the other sex. He was placed in the middle of the group, and the hostess asked him what the people thought of Judge M. "Oh, we didn't pay any attention to such small potatoes as he," was the reply. This incensed the questioner, and said she, "I suppose you don't like the judge because he won't allow you to have as many wives as you want." "Well," said Brother Butterfield, "I had 2 wives when he arrived in Utah, and I have got them yet." This so excited the lady's indignation that she sprang to her feet and exclaimed, "Ladies, let us put him out!" So as many of them as could get near enough seized hold of him. The elder looked at them imploringly and said, "Now, ladies, I wish you would wait, as this is not the time nor place for such a manifestation of affection. If you will only be patient and come along to Utah, and if you continue in the same mind, I will fulfill the words of Isaiah, who said the time should come when 7 women should take hold of one man and ask him for the privilege of taking his name in order to take away their reproach. Wait till you go to Utah, and I will marry you all." This anecdote caused the audience to smile more or less audibly. The speaker continued, "What is the cry of women who have been neglected and injured by men? It is that their reproach may be taken away. The hue and cry about polygamy will cease after a while, and it will be supplanted by another in regard to treason. It is the fruit of the goodly tree that is now being assailed. In course of time the assault will be upon the tree itself."